Thank you so much, sir. I'm so happy to see you. In fact, thank you for joining and giving us your time. Actually, when he asked me to have an interview with him, I was shivering and I said, no, sir, that's not possible. I cannot have interview with you one-to-one. I would request you if you can join our summit and, give us this honor to host you. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
So you were scared. You were scared to have a one-to-one with me.
Yes. In fact, yesterday when you emailed me that old man, how he will, come on first day.
I couldn't understand why at a women's summit where you have all these enthusiastic, young, talented, bright people, what do you want an old white guy who's lost?
I really want that old man with me in this summit because I'm feeling happy and honored to have you. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Yes. And as long as I am here, if you don't mind, I'm going to do a little presentation. Is that all right?
I won't mind at all. You are with us. I won't mind at all.
Okay. I just need to pick the right window here. Make sure I get
Don't you want us to introduce you in detail?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll stop presenting.
Yeah, I would like to introduce our chief guest for tonight to everyone. Mr. Ron Kaufman is a world-renowned service culture expert, best-selling author, and global speaker. He is best known for his book, Uplifting Service, which has transformed how organizations deliver exceptional service worldwide. Recognized among the top 25 thought leaders in the world, Mr. Ron has worked with governments and leading companies across industries to build strong service cultures, inspire leadership, and uplift customer experiences.
It's a short intro.
A very short introduction. Yeah, I would like to say really thanks to Mr. Ron to come here on with us. So yes, Mr. Ron, please.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And first of all, I must compliment this amazing person, Sanam Hussain, who not only did reach out and said, would it be possible, but then I was traveling and the time zone changed and it was supposed to be yesterday. And I said, will you mind last minute, can we move it to tomorrow? She goes, it's okay, whatever works for you. Thank you so much for your flexibility. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how many men would have been able to be so flexible, who would have been able to be so, adaptable, so understanding. And so thank you. Over the 35 years that I have been teaching about service to large companies, small companies, leaders, teams, and government agencies all over the world, including in Saudi Arabia, including in Oman, where I will be again next month, including in Jordan, including in Lebanon, including in Pakistan, including in UAE, of course, including in Bahrain, including in Qatar. I mean, the Arab world, the Islamic world, the world where women are rising and saying, okay, we get to have our voice now too. We need you. We absolutely need you all over the world, and especially in the challenging times that we're facing right now. Yeah. I know that you have a very busy schedule today. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time. I did prepare a few slides just to sort of answer the question, well, what is it you actually teach about? Like, what are you good at and that kind of thing. So I called the book, well, let me explain. I'm in Singapore right now. And I've been in Singapore for 35 years. Before that, when I was living in the United States, I was traveling around the world organizing Frisbee tournaments and Frisbee festivals. And what got me excited about Frisbee is if we ever meet in person, you're going to say, he's so small, he could be the basketball. He's not going to play basketball. He's certainly not going to play football. He's not going to play baseball. But they let me play Frisbee. And in this game called Ultimate Frisbee, the first rule of the game is called the spirit of the game. Not how you score points, not how you win, not what the rules are, the spirit of the game. And what it means is the people on the field are responsible for the quality of play. That's exactly, Sanam, what you were saying is I believe we're here in our lifetimes while we're alive on this earth to contribute to the quality of play and work and life and care and healthcare and medicine and education and community well-being. We're here and the spirit really matters. My grandmother taught kindergarten for 40 years. So for 40 years, this woman was just constantly getting little people to feel good about themselves, to if they ended up fighting and crying and hurting themselves, you know, she'd make them feel better again. So I learned that very young. And when I got involved in the business world, I realized, okay, I think some of these lessons need to transfer. Like, it's okay to think like a philosopher, but if you're going to write or you're going to teach, do it like a truck driver. So it's easy, so people can figure out what you're talking about. I'm not an academic, but teach like a grandmother with love in your heart. Okay? So I came to Singapore because all the manufacturing in Singapore went to China, and all of the contact centers and all the data entry jobs all went to India. And so the country had to figure out, how are we going to create more value? How are we going to become more valuable in the world? And if you come to Singapore today, and then Dubai sort of copied Singapore's model, what you're going to find is not manufacturing. What you're going to find is financial services, legal services, medical services, educational services, hospitality services, convention services, logistics and supply chain services. It's a whole economy built on service. But their population of working adults have been trained to work in factories. So, okay, now we've got a challenge here, because we're going to have to teach people how to actually provide better service. So they asked me to come because I knew how to get adults to learn from my years in Frisbee. And my first question was, what is service? Now, Sanam, I'm looking at a different screen, so I'm just going to ask you, are you looking at the screen right now that says, what is service?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are?
Yes, yeah. You are asking us. If you are asking, then it's difficult to answer. But yes, your screen is visible.
It says, what is service? Very good. So it took me 10 years to write one sentence. In other words, I had to figure out, what are we talking about when people say service is making people happy? Service is giving people what they want. Doctors should not give you what you want. The doctor should give you what you need. And sometimes what you need, or even what you want, is not going to make you happy right away. So what is service? And it took me 10 years to write this sentence. Number one, service is taking action. Now, in the business world, we understand that. It could be answering a question, solving a problem, taking an order, delivering an order, training somebody, replacing something, upgrading something. It could be action over the phone. It could be action online. It could be action face-to-face. But if somebody's not taking action, we don't call it service. Okay? Sanam, you organized this event. You took action. What's the purpose of the action? It's to do something that somebody else will want or need or appreciate or like, or if it's a customer, they'll pay for. So it's going to create value. Service is taking action to create value for someone else. And that's what all of us are doing when we go to work. That's what governments are doing. That's what businesses are doing. That's what departments are doing. And frankly, that's what a lot of people who work in the home environment, grandmothers, mothers, fathers, when they take the time, you're taking action to create value for your kids and for your family, and for your neighbors. And that's what service is. Service is taking action to create value for someone else. And then people say to me, well, what if I take action to create value for myself? And I say, okay, what do we call that? It's called self-service. So the definition makes sense. But my book is not called service. It's called Uplifting Service. And that's the point I want to make here with you today before I take some questions from you. You can type them into the chat. I'll answer them. Sanam and I can have that little interview I wanted to have with her, because I have some questions for her if she doesn't have questions for me. Uplifting service is not just taking action. It's taking the next action. The one that hasn't been taken yet, the one that nobody else may have even thought of, the one that the customer never even requested you to take. Uplifting service is taking the next action to create more value, to create new value, to create added value. And then if we keep the definition the way it was, it would be this. Uplifting service is not just taking action, it's taking the next action, not just to create value, to create more value for someone else. But if we're uplifting our service and we're creating more value, then instead of just someone else, why don't we say for someone you care about? Uplifting service is taking the next action to create more value for someone you care about. The organizers of this Being Women Summit 2025 have taken all the action that they've had to take to make today's event happen, to invite people like me, to have all of you come, to be able to learn together, share together, encourage each other, inspire each other, motivate each other, thank each other, congratulate each other, collaborate with each other. Why? To create new value, added value, more value. For who? For each of you, but also for your families and for your communities and for your countries and for your societies and for existing generations and for the future generations to come. Now, Sanam, I know she's going to come up with at least one question to interview me. Otherwise, I'm going to start asking her a really tough question.
Yes.
And the one question that interviewers seem to like to ask me at the end of a long interview is they say, what's your mantra? You know, what's that one phrase that you take as sort of a guiding light as you go through life? And I answered one day with this quote. It says, a life well lived contributes to the well-being of others. Like, how do you evaluate if you've lived a good life? How do you know whether or not you've made an important contribution? How do you do that? And I said, you know, a life well lived contributes to the well-being of others. And then I realized I was close, but not quite as accurate as I'd like to be. And I changed one word at the very beginning to just life well lived. Life well lived contributes to the well-being of others. That's why we love it so much when we see a healthy garden, because a healthy garden is living a positive, a well life. Why? It's contributing to the well-being of others. That's why if you have pets at home or if you see animals, or, you know, it's not just we human beings are the most important beings on the whole planet. The planet is what's alive. And we need women's voices, women's hearts, and women's sensibilities to bring some sensibility into the conversations that we're having in this world. Because as we all know, there's things happening in the world today that are not the healthiest thing in the world. And we need to change that. We need the women of this world to be the ones who will speak up and stand up and act up and contribute to create more value and contribute to the well-being of all of us. So thank you, Sanam, for putting this together and for inviting me. And now it's over to you to ask the first question.
Thank you so much, sir, again for, like, it's an honor for me, definitely, sir. So my question is, I always, as I mentioned many times, I always preach and practice self-leadership, because you always talk about the leadership. I just want to know whether it's like, I just talk, like, I'm short of words. Like, it's not something which I have studied about. It's just about on behalf of my experiences, as I am the one in my 7th generation who just took this action, or like took a stand for myself, and, you know, got the education and become a professional. So I believe self-leadership is very important before leading others. So does it really exist in education or in you know, the other world of business and personal and professional life? Yes, this is my question.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So the example that you gave, it's a great example, is 7 generations, and one person says, I'm going to go get educated.
Yes.
Right? That's self-leadership in a educational, and therefore which leads then to career and social participation and contribution. Self-leadership. Good for you. And your example is inspiring for so many other people, women and men like me. I want to introduce another situation that also calls for, or I would say invites us to be responsible for self-leadership. And it has to do with our mood, our attitude. Now, that's the other end of the spectrum from work and degree and job and salary and title and position. I'm talking about you wake up in the morning and you don't decide what mood you're going to be in when you wake up in the morning. You just wake up in the morning. And sometimes you wake up and you just happen to be in a great mood. Wonderful. Dive into the day. What do you do when you find yourself, for whatever reason, maybe there isn't even a reason, in not a good mood? Whose job is it to change the mood? Whose job is it to, for example, in my case, I know there are certain songs that if I play those songs, I cannot listen to that song and at the end of the song still be in a bad mood. I just know it's true. But if I'm in a bad mood, I have to have the self-leadership and the discipline to say, Ron, turn on the song. Otherwise, I go out in the world in a bad mood, and then my mood affects my family, and my mood affects my neighbor, and my mood affects the person in the elevator, and then it's the person on the bus and the person at work, and the next thing you know, I'm talking to my boss or I'm talking to a customer or a client, and my bad mood is coming through, and it's affecting them. So as much as self-leadership is powerful and important in the real world, it's also incredibly true in the emotional world, which all of us live every day. Don't count on somebody else to put you in a good mood. Take self-leadership responsibility and be willing to do that for yourself.
Thank you so much, sir. Means I'm on the right track.
And for some people, it's not music.
Ron, I have a question from you.
Yes.
Can
I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, so I work for the underserved communities in the country, and specifically when it comes to women in Pakistan. So it's self-pity kind of stuff. They need pity every time sympathies from the people and all the other stakeholders. So whenever we teach them or train them on entrepreneurship or IT to enable them, to empower them, they usually seek some financial and tangible benefits out of it. How to cope up with it?
Well, when you say they seek some financial benefit out of it, are they asking you to pay them to do the learning, or they just want to make sure that whatever they're learning, they're going to be able to use to make money?
So usually we pay them to attend the training sessions. We pay them.
Okay. So then what you have done is you've established a certain cultural tradition. You've established a certain historical expectation. And you're sitting here going, hey, wait a minute, the world is changing. We need to evolve. We want to not continue with just the same old practice. And one of the things about the evolution of traditions, like the transformation of traditions, is you have to accept that people are living in a familiar history. And you can't just come and go, we don't do that anymore, because they're going to be offended. Or you can't just say, well, it doesn't work like that. Now it works like this. They're going to go, well, what happened to that? And so it's important that you take responsibility as somebody who is literally inventing the future, to acknowledge that the cultural history, it's real. There's a word that I recommend people understand, and it's called historicity. Like history and, historicity. What the heck is that? It's the way history lives in our bodies. So, for example, you can tell I was born in the United States because of my accent. I haven't lived there for more than 3 decades. I can speak Singlish. I can sound like somebody who was born in Singapore, but I'm not going to be able to take this out of my body. It's like, for example, when you meet Japanese, they're not going to get rid of the Japanese accent unless when they were little, they lived overseas and they heard the other. So you've got to be willing to give people the dignity and the respect to acknowledge that, yes, you're right, that is the way it's been. And here's why it was set up like that. And here's how it worked. Now, the world's changing. And for example, we no longer have that budget available. Or now what we've discovered is sometimes if people just take that first step, there's a way that they can earn money. And so we're going to put the money instead into that first level job, so that you help people make the transition from the familiar past to a changing present, to collaborate with you in inventing the future. You can't just say, come on into the future, because people have a sense of dignity about their past. They have a sense of comfort about their past. And so if you're going to be a leader, a woman leader like you folks are, be curious about their past, acknowledge their past, respect their past, and then help them find a pathway to the future.
Thank you very much, Ron. And
you're welcome.
All the best, actually, because we usually practice all the trainings on service mindset in all the staff members, in all the incubation networks.
Great.
Your trainings are literally very crucial for the service, specifically for the educational industry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you folks have access to YouTube, you can go there and you'll find 600 videos by me. They're short, they're long, they're full speeches, they're short workshops, they're telling a story, giving an example. There are people all over the world who are teaching uplifting service just by finding the videos that work and then having the conversation around it. Okay, we have a lot of other raised hands. Sanam,
I just want to bring in your notice. The question which was asked from the industry leader, Ms. Tabinda Islam. She's already doing, she's an educational leader, and she, is doing a great job in Pakistan. She is with us. Alhamdulillah, she has joined us as a guest of honor, and she just raised the question. Yes, I hope she gets the answer. Yes, we have
time for one more question, or are we done?
No, sir. If you are available, if you can give.
We were working on this from very long time for this summit. So like when we got to know that you are coming, ma'am just sent me message like a kid. Hey Zainab, you know what? There is a good news. So guest of honor, chief guest is coming, and she sent me your LinkedIn profiling. So I was like literally excited when I got to know that you are coming, because leadership, education, and I'm a business administration student. So I'm the person who leadership is not through the authority. You have to take initiative. So when you come, I was like last night, I was just scrolling down on YouTube and listened your all the clips, what were the available motivation talks. So it was amazing. So yeah,
okay, now, I want to say what is your question?
I just want to say this. I'm good to see you here.
You just wanted to talk. You just wanted to participate. And thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Now I'm looking for somebody else with a question, please. Dr. Nusila.
How are you, sir? Thank you so much for joining us today. My question is that, of course, you have been traveled to different countries. The difference between the cultures in Arab culture is the different. Southeast Asian is different. And of course, now North America, and they have. So how do
and European and African and South American and ASEAN and Australia, New Zealand and China. And yes. Go ahead.
So my question is, how do you find the leadership differences, and what is the main task you think, what is a similar task you feel in all of these cultures, which helps to motivate people as a leader?
Okay. There's two different questions there. One is, what's the motivational mechanism or methodology for different cultures? Because, for example, in some cultures, people want the sense of prestige. In other cultures, they want to actually see the impact. In other cultures, they want to get paid more. In other cultures, they want a sense of having power. I mean, that how do you motivate people to want to do it? You put that one aside. You asked a different question first, which is, across all these different cultures, what do I see in common that needs to change? And I'll be perfectly candid with you, because this is a summit that was designed primarily for women. We need more women all over the world who will stand up and raise their hand and say, I have a point of view, I have a question, I have an opinion, I'm willing to learn. I'm not just coming here to complain and gripe and moan, and then they go, oh, those women. No, I'm here to be constructive, and I have a voice, and I've done my research, and I've done an experiment, I've got a test, and on and on and on. So women all over the world, we need you to become the very best that you can be. And that includes, challenging yourself to learn more, challenging yourself to ask questions, challenging yourself to study history, challenging yourself to make a mistake, to try things and be willing to make mistakes, because that's how people learn. Nobody reaches positions of true power without genuinely making mistakes. And women, you need to support each other a lot. Because in the men's world, if a woman makes a mistake, if a man makes a mistake in the men's world, it's already difficult. But a woman, woof. So you need to give each other a huge amount of ongoing support.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the answer also.
Aminaf Ali.
Yes. Yes, Amina.
Yes. So I just wanted to ask, a lot of times when women, especially when women are in the leadership positions, when they are trying to do some things, there's this thing where some of the service oriented qualities like empathy or patience, they are considered as weaknesses rather than strengths. We do see this a lot. So what would be your advice to women who feel that these service-oriented qualities, or who are made to feel that they are weaknesses rather than strengths? What would be your advice to those women?
You've got to also be able to deliver the performance. You've got to be able to deliver the results and be empathetic. In other words, if you come in, you go, oh, I'm bringing empathy, I'm bringing compassion, I'm bringing patience, kindness, concern, understanding, but you can't deliver the results. You're not able to make the hard decisions. You're not able to sell. You're not able to deliver. You're not able to coordinate a team. You're not able to innovate a new product. You're not able to make some tough decisions. Oh, but you have empathy. You're right. It's too soft. Okay, then I'm going to send you to an elder care facility where people just need time and empathy. And don't give them the wrong medications. Okay? But if you want to play in the world of power, in the world of business, in the world of politics, in the world of military, in the world of diplomacy and negotiations, you've got to be able to do both. And men have been learning that men who can perform well and have empathy get much higher respect than those who can just perform, but they're jerks. And you know, that's, I'm not saying it's easy. Steve Jobs had a tremendous reputation as being an enormous jerk, right? He wasn't the most empathetic guy. Nobody's going to call Elon Musk a empathetic guy, okay? At least not at work. He's like bang, bang, bang. And we're not even talking about the politicians, okay? But I'm not asking you to be Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. I'm asking you to be you. And your question was, well, what if I'm naturally an empathetic person? Or, you know, women naturally are more empathetic, compassionate, understanding, concerned, patient, etc. That's great, but it's not a replacement for also being able to deliver results, perform, coordinate teams, make tough decisions.
Right. Great.
Okay. Sanam, one more question and then we're done.
Sir, already, like, there are so many questions, but yes, we have time constraint. The last question I just want to ask from you.
You're going to ask the question?
As you talk, my mind to ask.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah, I do believe it. There you go.
Okay, I can pass on it to someone else if somebody else.
No, of course it should be you. Go ahead.
So, sir, as I requested you an email when you said, okay, I'll be joining you. So I said, I cannot pay you. You remember? You said, I'm not going to charge from you, right? So the same way, like adding value. If it's free of cost, it means we are adding value. But if we are charging for something, it won't be adding value. I mean, I'm very much confused.
Okay, hold on. Sanam, you don't even realize how powerful the question that you asked is. So let me answer it straight, okay? What makes something valuable to someone? When it contributes to their well-being. Okay? So for example, if you go to a bank, you want them to create value for you by helping you save money, track money, invest money, save money. If you go to a certain company, you want them to help you get value for money, right? Mm-hmm. That, you know, feel like you made a good expenditure, you got your money's worth, right?
Yes.
That's, you know, okay, yes. But value can also be emotional value. I made you feel good. I made you feel understood. I made you feel appreciated. It can also be relational value. So in other words, you feel like you're a member of the team, you're a member of the society, you're a member of the club, you're a member of the family. You're doing that for all the people on this call. They're participants in the summit. Look at all these hearts that are flying up all the time, right? These people are getting value and there's no money being exchanged.
Yes.
So value does not mean necessarily money. Okay. It means that people are saying you're contributing to my well-being. Okay, now, the reason I said how powerful your question is, and then this will be the last point I make, and I'm going to leave you folks to think about this one.
Right, sir.
Is that when I said someone you care about, what I did not answer is the question, what is care? took me 10 years to write the sentence, service is taking action to create value for someone. What is care? Well, it's taken me 7 years to write the sentence, care is concern and commitment to someone's well-being. And taking care is concern and commitment. Taking good care is concern and commitment to their well-being, not just now, but into the future. Into the future. So then the last thing I can do here with this call is to say to all of you, you can see how to spell my name. It's in the bottom corner on the screen. If you go to my website, which is just ronkaufman.com, you can subscribe for free. And once or twice a month, we're going to send out a story. We're going to send out an example. We're going to send out a video. I'm never going to ask you to spend money. I'm just going to contribute to your well-being so that you can contribute to other people's well-being. And the 30 years that I spent teaching about how to serve and uplift service, I'm now going to spend the next 30 years teaching how to take good care of what really matters in the world. And for that, women have got the advantage because you know what it means to take care of somebody's well-being because you're the ones who give birth to us.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Being here. Thank you once again.
Look forward to seeing you all again, inshallah.
Inshallah. Inshallah. It made my day.
Okay.
Thank you. Bless
Bye.
you. Take care. All right. I'm really sorry to all other speakers and the participants.